Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank my Democratic colleagues for their comments, both from the Resource Committee's members and other colleagues that came forth to speak against Polluters Over People Act, H.R. 1. Republican members have produced an extreme piece of legislation. And as I listened to the rationale today, there was 4 or 5 themes that were repeated over and over again. It's an extreme piece, a high cost to pay for a speakership, but nevertheless, the rationale today was, as I heard it, patriotism. If you vote no for H.R. 1, you don't believe in America, and you're not a patriot. You support China, Russia, Venezuela, OPEC, communism. Unfortunately, that's a desperate lie and unnecessary in this debate. And the other rationale I heard, let industry drive energy policy, production, and the safeguards that the American people need. That was one of the rationales. And the other one that struck me is collateral damage. Tribes, poor people, 40 million Americans, communities of color. Once again, they get thrown under the bus to satisfy the greed of polluters. The issues of environmental justice are almost eliminated and downplayed in this whole discussion. That is 40 million people. That is collateral damage that cannot be tolerated and should not be. Oh, and we ignore climate change. You blame other nations and ask Americans to accept a lower bar for themselves and give up the opportunity to, as we always have, to historically lead in this world of ours. This act is about taxpayer subsidies to a powerful and rich polluted industry that doesn't need the support. It dismantles fundamental public health, clean air, clean water, NEPA, environmental protections, and judicial review. And we need to remember that this act, H.R. 1, Polluters Over People, deals with a very consequential issue, and that's the consequential issue of life. H.R. 1 is dangerous to life. The real true act of patriotism, I want to remind my colleagues, is our responsibility and our oath to protect lives, to extend the future, to deal with fairness, and the public's right to know and the public to have a voice in their future. H.R. 1, Polluters Over People Act, undoes all of that. Now, if we want to go back to the good old days when the rivers were burning, when we were clear-cutting forest, when it was all right to emit and not have any consequences, those are not the good old days that people want to go back to. If we're going to deal with the climate challenge and the climate action that's needed in this crisis, H.R. 1 needs to be defeated. It's the right thing to do, it's the American thing to do, and it's the patriotic thing to do. H.R. 1 is dangerous, needs to be defeated. I urge a no vote, and I yield back.